Welcome back, baseball fans. It is Crabcakes and baseball. Happy Memorial Day. We hope everyone had one. With me, as always, Jamie Naill. I am Jerry Shank. Jamie, did you have a nice Memorial Day weekend? Got to see some baseball.
Yeah, I got to see a lot of baseball. Great weekend. Other than the truck incident, obviously, which I'm still dealing with. But yeah, no, it was a phenomenal weekend. Great baseball, as always. So yeah, I can't wait to dive into it with you here. But yeah, phenomenal weekend, Jerry. How about you?
It's very nice. It was very nice. Got to see some baseball. Got to go up and catch some state tournament for our friends and neighbors in Delaware, and then the same old. Four crazy kids, all under five. So it's basically just a lot of zone defense and praying. So a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So let's get into this because we got a lot to talk about today. Big week coming up. Big week just happened. So let's go to our main story today, and that is our review of the state championships. The MPSSAA state championships were held this Friday and Saturday night. Our champions have finally been announced. And Jamie, you were at every single game. We had complete coverage. Hopefully, everybody got to see us on Twitter. It was phenomenal coverage um, throughout the entire state tournament. If you weren't there, you practically were with what we were doing. It was a really great job by Jamie and the crew at that tournament. So I definitely want to commend all of you for everything that you've done. But Friday night, 4A state championship. It's always a little more fun. It's that night game. It's the biggest schools across the state win the 4As. And you had a big matchup. You had the number one seed Urbana versus the number two seed Sherwood. And again, it was Sherwood who came through with a big 7-4 victory, again defeating Urbana. It's kind of like Urbana just can't get past them. But Jamie, you were there, obviously. What's your big storyline from that game?
Yeah, I mean Sherwood completed the three-peat. That's kind of your big storyline there. It's been a perennial program across the state. They do it year in and year out. They find ways to get it done, and they found ways to get it done throughout the entire spring, throughout these playoffs. And they did it Friday night as well. Uh, Senior Brian Scott, University of Maryland commit, led off the game with a solo bomb, had another RBI single in the second. So big offensive outpour from him. We've seen it all spring as well. The athleticism, the strength. He can really impact the game on both sides. And I think I actually put that in the tweet over the weekend. Just a phenomenal player, really, really fun to watch. Um, Junior Matt Chrisman, he started the game for Sherwood. Phenomenal outing as well. Towards the back end of the year, he was pretty much lights out for Sherwood. Him and Ben Berger leading that staff. It was great to watch. So Sherwood completing the three-peat, I think that's kind of your storyline there. But obviously, offensively and on the bump with Chrisman and Brian Scott really led the way.
Yeah, I mean, for the past 3 years, it's been really impressive for what Sherwood has been able to do, and they've had great talent throughout. It's not been, a big name. I mean, I guess last year the season that Amari Allen put together was really impressive, but they had a lot of great pieces on that team. Um, you know, Allen was our PBR State Player of the Year last season. A little bit, I guess, for his standards, you could call it a smidget of a down season this year for him overall. Still a really strong year, but they just showed the balance again. The strong offense, great offense, and they always find that pitch and it comes through. And like you said, Chrisman, Berger, they were the guys who Berger came through this year. Just another really impressive victory, the three-peat. So now we're going to get on to the four-peat train immediately. We're going to talk about it. Well, not here. We'll save that for another time. But it's just been really impressive. So congratulations to Sherwood. Congratulations to Urbana. Another great season for them. This time they got to get into that state tournament, get to that state championship game. They're getting closer and closer. So it was a really really good game. But congrats to Sherwood once again for the three-peat and taking home the 4A crown. Now Saturday we had your 1A game to start it off, the 2A, and then the 3A game. And Jamie, when we were talking during the games, I thought you were going to be there till probably 3 in the morning because our 1A game went in extra innings. You had the repeat game from 2022. Clear Spring, the 1 seed, taking on the 2 seed, Colonel Richardson. It went into extras, but Clear Spring pulls out the dramatic 3-2 win in the 11th off of a walk-off bomb from Dawson Kerr. And so, Jamie, I want to throw it over to you real quick. Let's talk about the game. You
Yeah,
thought.
so a little bit different from last year. Clear Spring pretty much dominated that game, start to finish. This year was obviously different. Colonel Richardson had Daniel Hessen on the bump, and he battled. Definitely battled through a pretty tough Clear Spring lineup. Hudson Troball threw the ball extremely well for Clear Spring, like always. You kind of know what you're going to get out of him, and you kind of knew what you were getting out of Hessen. He pitched very well throughout the spring. It's a guy that we had a lot of eyes on throughout the spring, and he showed up in the state championship game again. So it was a really, really good back and forth game. Obviously, low scoring. Dawson Kerr coming up in that 11th inning, hitting that walk off. It was funny because Jerry, you and I were on the phone at that time. I had one of my interns down the line getting video, and I had to end that call pretty quick because I said Dawson Kerr, I believe, just went deep. So right off the bat, it looked like it was gone, and it was. So, um, Clear Spring goes back to back there. Extremely, extremely fun year to watch. From there, throughout everything that they went through. So, winning that game 3-2 and 11 was something special.
Yeah, it was really funny on the phone. We were talking. I heard a crack of a bat, and then you go, "Oh my gosh!" Dawson Kerr just walked it off, and the head wasn't even over with it. And then it was click, hang up. And I was like, "All right, I'll talk to you later." But no, it was that was awesome. And just to repeat, I mean, it's been a great year from Clear Spring. They've been in our Power 25 throughout the season. They've had a great year, and it's really an amazing story. It's just an amazing story what happened. For those of you who do not know, and this is something that we don't typically, we're about baseball, but there is something that it needs to be noticed in here. Late August of last year, Clear Spring, there's a tragic accident. 3 players from that team passed away, and it was something that was just something you just hate about high school in general. You hate to see such young men leave us at that time at such a young age, and it was very tragic. But this season, you could see that there was inspiration and there was a drive, and especially in that state championship game, the way Colonel Richardson was able to come back, tie it up late, but it just seemed like, and I know talking with you some, it just seemed like they were not going to be denied. And it's just an amazing story. Kudos to them for the inspiration to battle all the adversity that they went through to be able to take this championship. So congratulations to Clear Spring on just a truly, truly impressive season and great things that happened this year for them and going on with that state championship. So congratulations to Clear Spring. Now, let's go to our 2A game, 4 o'clock game, which obviously did not start at 4 o'clock because we won 11 innings in the first one. Um, you got your number 1 seed Patuxent versus the number 6 seed Parkside, and this was, Aiden Brinsfield was the name of this game for Parkside with a really impressive victory as Parkside takes home the state championship with a 3-1 victory. Jamie, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it was. We've obviously seen Brinsfield a bunch in the past. He's been to a bunch of events. We saw him throw at least 3 times throughout the spring. This was the best Aiden Brinsfield I have ever seen. Um, he showed up when it counted. Complete game, 7 innings, 12 Ks, gave up 1 run. It was a phenomenal outing. He dotted pitches wherever he wanted. He was having fun out there too. He was smiling. So real competitive there as well, which you love to see. But it was just a phenomenal outing. He could not be denied with anything. He was throwing any pitch for any strike in any count. So it was phenomenal. So name of the game was Aiden Brinsfield. Parkside with that 3-1 victory in that 2A state title game. So Brinsfield, kudos to him.
Absolutely, congratulations to Parkside for the big victory, and it's kind of funny how baseball is because I remember when I first started in PBR Maryland, Parkside had a really good run of talent back in those years in 2014, 2015, 2016, and they just came up short every year. They had some amazing players. Hunter Parsons was one of their top arms, who's now, running through the minor league system after a stellar career at the University of Maryland. Um, and then this year, it's kind of they were a bit of an underdog as they come through it. They was a bit of an unknown. They just played solid throughout the year. And then sure enough, when they get to this, they get their horse. He gets on the mound and he goes ahead and does it, like you were saying, Jamie. So really, congratulations to Parkside. Um, and it goes without saying, to go to two state championships in back-to-back years, you got to have something special. And so really just another great season for Patuxent. Just came up short yet again. Just kind of ran into something special, and it's kind of weird how that happens 2 years in a row. But they should not be ashamed whatsoever, because they've put up two really good seasons, and I'm sure they're going to be back in the fold, back in that mix again next year. um,
Yeah, and Jerry, not to cut you off, but what Coach Powell did with Patuxent this year and everything that they lost, everybody that they lost to graduation last year, and for them to come back and play consistent ball all year long with the young roster that they had, and the ability to pitch it the way that they did, and come up with big hits throughout the spring was something to see. And so I just wanted to kind of put that little tidbit in there, just from everything that they lost to graduation last year, and for them to go back to the state title game. Um, it was impressive. So kudos to Coach Powell. Great job down there in the SMAC and Patuxent, and they're going to be back again. So big things coming for Patuxent.
Absolutely. And that leads us to our 3A final, the nightcap. Number 4, River Hill versus number 6, CM Wright. Nobody really saw this matchup coming, and it happened, and it did not disappoint. It was a pitcher's duel through and through, but River Hill took the 1-0 victory on another impressive pitching performance from the 2024 Duke commit, Henry Zatkowski. Jamie, you were there. You saw it. I remember we talked on the phone. You're just like, holy cow, this kid is on point today. He's locked in. He's ready to go. It was a pretty impressive outing.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much what he's done all year. Zatkowski was absolutely filthy. He was pretty much untouchable. Fastball, slider, all game long, both for strikes. Fastball came out of the hand extremely well in the upper 80s, touched 89 a few times. The slider was really unhittable. I mean, it was a true back foot sweeper that was pretty much untouchable throughout the entire night. So complete game, gave up just one hit. I believe it was on a slider on a ball that snuck through the middle. The other big thing with that is he struck out 15. He threw 78% strikes and did not walk a batter. So with that slot coming from a lefty, and for you to throw 78% strikes in a state title game with all that adrenaline and the fans, getting crazy out there in a state title game, it was something special. So Zatkowski going into his senior year next year is going to definitely be a lefty, and just a player in general that a lot of people need to watch.
For sure, absolutely. He's definitely going to be on that short list of Maryland arms to check out next spring and watching this summer into the fall. So it should be a lot of fun, seeing how he progresses over the course of the next 9 months. Now, again, congratulations to all of our champions. Just to sum it all up: Sherwood, the 4A champs; Clear Spring, the 1A champs; Parkside takes the 2A championship, and then River Hill, the 3A champions, from this past weekend in the MPSSAA tournament. Congratulations to all of our champions. Another great year in Maryland, great year of high school baseball, across the board. Public, private, just a lot of good talent, and it continues to get better and better. Keep on working, fellas. Keep on working, because it's really a lot of fun to watch all the games out there and see all the talent across the old line state. Now, let's get into our neighboring state of Delaware. We had the DIAA state tournament kickoff last week. As a lot of you are going to be listening or watching this, our semifinals might be underway. But we're going to give you a quick semifinal preview. We've got the semifinals on Thursday, and then your finals are going to be on Saturday. All are going to be at Fraley Stadium, so it should be a lot of fun. A lot of good games to watch. Your first semifinal game going to be at 3 o'clock on Thursday. It's the number 1 seed St. Mark's. They're taking on the 4 seed Conrad. Jamie, what's your big storyline going into this game?
Yeah, from what we've seen from St. Mark's, it's going to be their offense. Conrad, if they were to stay in the game, it's got to be a low scoring game, and they got to keep it close throughout. St. Mark's offense is absolutely legit, and it's high powered. Um, the other thing with St. Mark's is they can get it done on both sides of the ball. It's a very fundamental team, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Um, to that St. Mark's Conrad matchup with Conrad without Brady Wardell, who threw in the quarters to get them to this semifinal matchup. It's going to be a tough matchup for Conrad, um, but I see that St. Mark's offense and the ability to get it done on both sides. It's going to be a tough matchup for Conrad, so I like St. Mark's in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you as well. It's been a really impressive season for St. Mark's. Been strong from start to finish, and we're just one step away from the state championship. Number one overall seed. You obviously, it's kind of easy to go with chalk on that one, but they've been that impressive this whole year. Now your second game, the nightcap, is going to be your 2 seed Delaware Military Academy (DMA) taking on the 6 seed Cape Henlopen. Now Henlopen's been here quite a bit, so has DMA. They were in the state tournament last year. But Jamie, what's your big storyline going into this one?
Whew, this is going to be tough. This is two teams that are perennial, powerhouses in Delaware with DMA and Cape. Um, Cape riding a high off of a big win over Caravel at the game that we were at. DMA, we were also at that game as well against Sally's. It's going to be Tyler August. I believe Tyler August is going to throw for DMA. Obviously, low to mid 90s fastball is pretty tough to face at the high school level. So you see Tyler throw strikes and you see him pump the zone. It's going to be tough for this Cape offense, which is obviously explosive 1 through 9 that we've seen all spring long with that perennial powerhouse being Cape throughout Delaware. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait for it. I'm gonna be down there tomorrow watching both games. Um, I'm going to take DMA in this one. I believe Tyler August is going to show up. I think he's going to throw extremely well. So I got DMA over Cape in this one.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Should be a really good game. I'm just gonna play devil's advocate, so I'm gonna take Cape in this one, just to disagree with you a little bit. But it's been a really impressive year for both teams. Cape, we liked early; they hit a few snags throughout the season, but playing good baseball when it counts, and they've got a good mixture on the bump and a good offense. But I mean, you can't take that away from DMA either because they're a really deep team too. Should be a lot of fun. Should be a really fun day in the semifinals between your Final Four in the Delaware State playoffs. So good luck to all of them. And again, the state championship is going to be on Saturday, and again, it should be a lot of fun. So good luck to all of those teams for this weekend. And now we are going to finish up this episode of Crab Cakes and Baseball, and we're going to do a little preview. This weekend starts the PBR tournaments, and Maryland has a PBR Maryland Open tournament that's going to be this weekend on Saturday and Sunday with a couple games on Friday night. Going to be a little bit over 30 teams that are going to be at this tournament. It's going to be in Salisbury, Maryland, just 20 minutes outside Ocean City at the Henry Parker Complex, 4 turf infields with grass outfields, lights. Beautiful complex. We've been doing it now for multiple years. I think 4, maybe 5 years. Always a ton of fun. It's a very popular tournament. It sells out almost instant. I feel like every time we post the tournament up before the weekend is over with, or 48 hours, the tournament's sold out. So it's a lot of good programs that come down to really get their summer kicked off. So, having said all of that, let's go to some talent and to some prospects that we're excited to see this week. And Jamie, you're going to take 3 players. I'm going to take 3 players, but we'll jump back and forth with it. So let's start it off with some prospects that we are excited to see. And Jamie, you lead it off.
Yeah, I'm going to start with outfielder John Wayman, 2024 out of Walt Whitman. He'll be playing with the DMV prospects. Um, Really, really special player here. Can impact the game on both sides of the ball. Really explosive. Really like the swing. Had a stellar year for Whitman this spring. We got to see a ton of him. I saw probably about 4 to 5 Whitman games, and Wayman showed out in each one of them. So that's definitely a bat that I'm really looking forward to seeing this weekend.
And then for me, I'm going to start with the 24 class right-handed pitcher Nathan Barnes. He's out of Virginia at Arcadia High School, but it's really one of those extremely difficult schools to get to because it's along Chincoteague Island. So it's very difficult to get to in Virginia. You're basically your best bet's going out of Maryland from the shore to go get there. So place where not necessarily you think about a ton of baseball, but a really intriguing athlete. And I think why I'm most intrigued, Jamie, is we got to see him in the preseason. He was at a scout day that we did with the East Coast Royals and was just really interesting. A big arm, a lot of athleticism, and I think the fastball was upper 80s, up to 88, I believe, and great body. The way it works, and it's just going to be interesting because it was then that was February. It was a cold day. We were indoors. It's preseason, early to start, so it's going to be really interesting to see how this spring went for him. Didn't get to see him over the spring, so I'm really excited and looking forward to seeing this uncommitted right-handed pitcher out of Arcadia High School, and that's Nathan Barnes in the 24 class. Who's your next one, Jamie?
Yeah, I'm going to hop down to the 26 class out of Sussex Central, Osiah Kelly. He'll be playing with DCP. Delmarva Ace is out there with Dave Wiggum. Um, this is a special arm in this 26 class, number third ranked in this 26 class in Maryland, Delaware. We saw him mid 80s, mid to upper 80s throughout the spring, but he can do it on both sides. And we see the two-way talent throughout the spring as well. Shortstop for Sussex Central this spring. But it's a special arm. We think the ceiling is on the arm. It's a clean arm. He can spin it for strikes. The fastball is just going to keep rising. That velo, we've seen him over the past 6 7 months, and it just keeps increasing. So there's a lot to like with that. There's a lot to like with the two way ability as well. But I'm really intrigued to see the arm.
Yeah, I mean, as a former pitching coach, you want to see athletes on the mound. You really like to see that athleticism. And Osai, I got to watch him during the state playoffs at Sussex Central, and he was just starting shortstop in the game, and he can move, hit from the left side. So really interesting. I just wanted to throw that nugget in there too, because he's somebody that we really like. We really like what the future might hold for that young man. Now, for me, I'm going to go to the 25 class. I'm going to Delaware out of Cape Henlopen, and that's catcher first baseman Jace Mitchell. Jace Mitchell, we got to see her first time last fall. Really intriguing left-handed hitter, a lot of arm strength and versatility. Really good athlete, but I really like the swing. I love the way the ball comes off the barrel. He shows good bat to ball skills. And I think he's only going to be getting better. Now this spring, he really just played first base at Cape. They had a starter behind the plate, and so he moved to first to make sure that stick gets in the lineup. But he was versatile enough to be able to do both. I think he can definitely stick it behind the plate as well. But to have that versatility and a left-handed bat, I do see some power potential there. But I really like the gap-to-gap ability with what his swing does. Be really fun to watch him as well this weekend. So, Jamie, let's go to our last one. Who do you got?
Yeah, so it's a guy that we may not see because he's still in the Delaware playoffs, but it's Lexton Westcott with Cape Henlopen. Obviously, they play tomorrow. We're doing this pod on a Wednesday night, so he plays tomorrow in the semis. If they win, we will not see him. But it is a versatile athlete, two sport athlete, football star as well, and you can see the athleticism. We saw him in the quarterfinals at third base last night. He made 3 or 4 extremely nice plays, slow rollers, ability to move side to side, arm strength is present, and the bat plays, the ability to spray line drives gap to gap. With the ability to backspin to the right center field gap is something special, and he utilizes that speed to get extra bases. So that's definitely an athlete that I love. It's one of my favorite athletes across Delaware. So 2024 Lexton Westcott, that's a name to circle. And hopefully we get to see him, maybe not for his case, but for my case, hopefully we get to see him this weekend.
Well, we'll get to see him either way because we're going to be in the
Yeah.
state tournament. So we'll be able to see him no matter what there. But my last player, now I'm going to go to the 26 class now, and an intriguing arm that we haven't seen in a while is left-handed pitcher and first baseman outfielder Jeremy Drago Jr. out of DCP. Delmarva Aces, 26, really intriguing left-handed arm. When we saw him last fall, he was up to 83. He's out at Dover High School in Delaware. Just really, really intriguing. And I've said that word about 17 times, but it is. It's a little lanky. There's definitely some. You look at that, and he's a type of player. When you look at him, you're going to the crystal ball, and you're trying to figure out, what is that body going to end up doing? Because there's a lot of projection there that you see. There's definitely some potential with the arm. So I'm really intrigued to see him hopefully on the bump at some point this weekend for DCP. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see it. But overall, I'm just really excited to get this summer season underway with this tournament. We're going to see a ton of talent. Now, we just took 6 players. If you go to prepbaseballreport.com, right now you can go to prepbaseballreport.com/Maryland, go under news, and in there we have a story, and it is a preview for the tournament. Now you're going to see a couple of these players that we have mentioned already, but it is a preview for the Maryland Open, and it takes players from each class 24, 25, and 26, gives a quick synopsis of them, a short scouting report along with video on there, and then some other players as well as follows to keep an eye on. So make sure you're visiting prepbaseballreport.com. You can see it and get right off of it on our site, prepbaseballreport.com/Maryland. But even with that, I mean, there's probably I think about 15, 16 players that we had on that list. But the list we gave they had to pick and choose because I think we gave them close to like 30 or 40 players that we were really intrigued to see. So should be a lot of fun this weekend. Jamie, what are your thoughts, or how are you feeling for this coming up, getting the summer season rolling?
Yeah, Jerry, not much time to rest, but I love it. Obviously Delaware playoffs are wrapping up, and we're rolling right into a tournament. So June is obviously a busy month for us. I can't wait for it. I'm going to be living in a hotel, so that's even better. But no, man, I seriously I can't wait to get rolling. This tournament's going to be a lot of fun this weekend. We have 34 teams, top notch talent, top tier talent across the Mid Atlantic. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to get rolling. Can't wait to not sleep. So I'm looking forward to it. Loving it.
Sleep is optional for us over the summer. We get just preferred naps as we move along, but should be a lot of fun. And for those of you who have probably always asked this question and wonder, we are going to be adding more tournaments over the summer in Maryland. We're going to be getting some more, just not this summer. It's going to be coming up soon, though. So we've got some things in the works. Probably shouldn't have said anything, but I'm terrible at keeping secrets. So I'm just going to throw it out there that there is more to come down the line, so be ready. But that's going to do it all for Crabcakes and Baseball. Again, we went a little bit longer than we wanted to, but we had a lot to talk about. For Jamie Naill, I am Jerry Shank, and it's Crabcakes and Baseball because that's what PBR Maryland does. We'll talk to you guys next time.